mobile, how to start listings from mobile. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm getting the signal from my producer. Please help me welcome. Let's get some applause for Amanda. Hang on one sec. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the show, Amanda Morse, co-founder and co-CEO of List Perfectly. The crowd is going wild, Amanda. Welcome, Amanda.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Really a pleasure to share about List Perfectly Mobile with everyone today. So thank you for getting the party started. I was a little delayed because StreamYard was so courteous to not have permissions to use my camera. So I had to go through that, but we're good. I think you can see me now.
Nice. Well, you got it settled and sorted. And yeah, I see a couple new names in the chat. I see a lot of our usual listeners. So that's our usual viewers, I guess. So that's good. But no questions so far, but can I start with a big question?
Yes.
So I would like to hear from you why, and this is a question we see a lot, is why is List Perfectly not an app for your phone? Why is it not a mobile app?
Yeah, so we are a web app, right? So you can go with your phone. So here's my phone. I can pull up at my browser on my phone and use List Perfectly to list and cross post. And I'd love to share my screen. So I'm gonna show you what you can do with List Perfectly. But the reason that we're not a mobile app is you can do everything with List Perfectly that you would normally do with your app. I mean, the limitation is still you're going to need your computer to cross post. And that's really the reason. I mean, you can actually do more with the List Perfectly web browser version than you ever could with an app. So that is why we just we prioritize we prioritize the mobile experience on the browser.
So let me ask you this real quick, because people might not understand. Can you explain to us what mobile responsive means? What's a mobile responsive website?
So what that basically means is that you're going to take what would normally appear on a full screen on a computer, and you're going to compress that to a smaller screen size. And so what usually will happen is, menus might change. Some things that you normally see viewing across, you might see one under the other. And the text might appear a little bigger. It just depends on how the website is set up. Not all websites are set up for mobile responsiveness, but we are.
And so, versus something like, let's say with eBay has the app and then they have the site, which isn't necessarily mobile responsive. You've basically got two different things you're working with. So the beauty here is you are working with this environment that is just adjusting to your mobile device.
Yeah, and as a lot of people probably already know, using a app, a lot of times you don't have the same features or functionality as you have on the desktop site. And it really depends on the marketplace or what you're using. But we like to keep everything consistent at List Perfectly. We don't want to say, well, if you go over to the app, you can't do this. And if you go, the one limitation that we've already talked about is the fact that you can't do cross posting from mobile. And that's true whether you have an app or not.
Sure. And then, it's interesting too, and we don't want to go too deep into tech, but even some of the marketplaces have compatibility issues with their own apps.
That is absolutely true. And yeah, thank you for mentioning that. You see this all the time. We already know that when marketplaces make changes, that can affect List Perfectly because we interact with the listing page on the marketplace. Well, now you're adding in when Apple makes a change, when Samsung or whatever your phone manufacturer, your tablet manufacturer, whenever they make a change, that's going to impact your app as well. So, I mean, it's just adding layers of complexity that really don't need to be there.
And you're the tech team that you manage responds so quickly and so well to these changes. It's like it seems like we've got fixes, patches within like a day.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and that's, thank you for saying that, because yeah, we absolutely are right on top of anything going on. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, there was a big change on the eBay new listing form, and we pushed an update as soon as we found out about that.
Okay. Well, yeah, and that's great. That's a great recent example. So should we get into the screen sharing then?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Let's share my screen and show you a couple things. All right, let me know when you can see my screen.
There we go.
Okay, are you seeing QuickStart?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. I brought everyone over to the Quick Start Guide because right from here, and by the way, you can get to our Quick Start Guide from our menu. You can click on Help and News, Quick Start Guide. You can also get there right from the main menu, which I have in a mobile responsive view. It's right here, the top tile, Quick Start Guide. But we're explaining what the difference is between the LP site and what you can do with our site, which is true for any device, whether you're on your phone, your tablet, your computer. There's two different things that you can do with List Perfectly. You can do all of your listings on our site. So if you want to create your listings, you want to take pictures from your mobile, you can
Sure.
pull up an add listing form, and I'll show you that in a little bit, and just add your images right there. You can take your images right from the List Perfectly add a listing page, and without having to take them ahead of time and then go find them in your browser or your library. You can just take them and then it will automatically upload them to the add listing form. That's an option. Or
Okay.
of course, you can look at your library and add images that way. But pretty much you can do anything that you would do on the List Perfectly site, which we're looking at right now, which includes your catalog, your My Listings, templates. You can do everything from the mobile responsive view, so the web app on your phone. How would you get there? Is you'd simply open up a browser window, like your favorite browser. Any browser will work with List Perfectly. You like Safari on your mobile device, open up Safari, and you can just go right to the List Perfectly site, click login, and start using List Perfectly. So let's take a look at where you'll get when you first log in on your phone. And I'm right now I've got a responsive view. This is not my actual phone. I want to let everyone know that, because normally you would see buttons on the bottom if I were on a phone,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe the top, however your phone is set up. So you could do, back, and they would give you some more functionality. That's not visible here, but the site is going to be the same. So when you first log in, you'll be taken to the main menu, and right here you have some quick tiles that will help you navigate around the site. If you want to go to the guides, they're all here. You want to check out some news, they're all here. Your catalogs, your My Listings is a quick link right here. You want to add a listing, you can do so.
And so that's all the same. That's the beauty of the mobile responsive. You've got that again, that quick
Right.
start guide, all that stuff to look at if you need to.
That's right. That's right. And let's say you want to go over to your My Listings. Click on that My Listings tile. That's going to take you right here. And it's the same. So we talked about how the menus, the screen will adjust based on your screen size. You can still see everything. It's just, instead of being in a straight across menu, it's going to be right one on top of the other. But this is convenient because right from here you can click on Add Listing and start your listings. Here's if I scroll down, you'll see that you can see your products here, and you just scroll if you want to see more information, or turn your phone to the side
Sure.
and you can see even more. So this is usually what people want to see. I like to use the phone on the side just because it gives you a little more visibility. But if you wanted, you can edit your listing. You can do everything on the site. And I can't emphasize this enough. Full functionality, everything that you could do if you were on your computer, except for cross-posting, you can do here. You can duplicate, you can template, you can edit, you can create new listings. You can use a template and create a listing. So it is very functional right here from the website.
Okay. I want to make sure we keep up on questions too. Sorry to
Mhm.
stop you, but there is a quick question from Maggie Refashioned Hippie. If
Okay.
you have the pro plan, can you use the background remover from mobile?
Yes, yes, you can. Yes,
Great question.
absolutely. That is a great question. So I'm going to go back to my main menu and let's just add a listing and let's go through this. So pretend that I'm on my phone and I'm actually looking at my phone camera or my phone library. So let's just insert a bunch of photos here. I actually tried to find some photos with background that needed to be removed, but let's see what happens if I try these.
Okay.
I'm just going to insert them. And from the mobile, if you needed to move anything around, you can do that. Maybe the tag is less important than this text that's on the screenshot here. But if I click on the image from mobile, that opens up your edit window here. Here's the icon for photo room background removal. And if I click remove background, it's going to get to work and do that. And that's it. Now it didn't come out great because this was already a white background, and so
Sure.
it's removing the background. But if I don't like it, look, I still have the undo button. I'm going to click that and go right back to what it was. So now we're back to the original image. But yes, you can do everything. You can even do the bulk background removal. So if I click the bulk actions and I go to remove backgrounds, just like on desktop, I can confirm and remove backgrounds on all of them if I want. So it's going to be identical. And meanwhile that's working, let's just go ahead and apply a template. So let's say t-shirt. And let's do let's try a champion t-shirt. Now, just like
Okay.
that, it applied my template. Meanwhile, I'm waiting. And that's the great thing. On mobile, meanwhile, I'm waiting for the background removal to complete. I can do more work on my listing. Now, I picked these images on purpose because I knew that they were not going to come out that great because the images are already white, right? So I'm going to just click bulk actions here and say, you know what, that didn't work out the way I wanted. I'm going to restore them back. So I just click restore, select all, confirm, and now it's going to bring them back to what they originally were. And then I can keep working. So I can say white or off white, whatever the color is. Size, I think it was a large. And all the Pro Plan features are going to be here. Your Pro Plan description builder is going to be here. And the template added these extra details. I can adjust them if I want. You can add your measurements. Just like normal, it's just going to be where here's your label and here's where you would enter the measurement. So that responsiveness. Now, if you don't like that, just flip your view and just literally, you just turn the phone and it's going to respond to the phone screen dimensions. And this is how I
Yeah.
prefer to work. I like a bigger view because look, I can see the images even bigger as well.
That looks great. Or on a tablet too. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
even some big
Yep.
users are learning a couple things via mobile, like the template usage. And I
Yep.
think too is like all this functionality. That's why so many users will do their drafts in mobile because it's so easy. You've taken your pictures on there, and we've all got these high def cameras and video cameras in our pockets. So Clara asks, can you manage templates from mobile or iPad?
You sure can. That's a great question. So I want to show you this little hamburger menu because let's go back to the phone. I went to an iPad Air. Let's go back to an iPhone 12. All right. If you're on mobile and you want to navigate around, you're going to notice that our normal header menu just converts to a smaller menu, and you just click these little hamburger. We call it a hamburger icon. Click that little hamburger, and it's going to give you the same exact menu. it's just going to look a little different. So you have these pluses next to each item that would normally be on the menu. Click listing. And if you want to manage your templates, you can go right over to view, edit templates. And I'm going to do that. And here we are. The same features are on the mobile view as you would see on desktop. You can even inline edit. That is even an option. So if I wanted to change this title on mobile, I can do that.
And then, so what devices are we talking about? So obviously iPhone, Android, iPads, and so the later models or Surface tablets.
Yep. Tablets. We really anything that is capable of running apps, let's say, like normal apps that you would download from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store.
Okay. Thank you. Awesome. Yeah. And again, if you like that horizontal view, maybe more convenient on a tablet. I would imagine most of our users are iPhone users. Yeah.
Yep. And right now I'm looking at an iPhone style view. So it's, I can't speak enough about using a browser versus an app. I find it to be more feature rich and more functional. That's just my opinion.
So we just went through starting a listing. And so you can end listings on mobile too, right?
You sure can. So I'm so glad you asked about that. Let's hop over to my listings and let's take that example. So we know that normally you would need your extension to take care of that task. And right now we're on a mobile. How do we do that? Well, when you cross post with your List Perfectly catalog, you're going to have your platforms stored. These links work from the phone. So if I click eBay right here, it's going to take me to the eBay listing.
Okay.
And then I can go ahead and end it from here. eBay is a little unique in how they end things. So it just depends on the view that they give you. But you can absolutely end your listings on eBay. If you go into my eBay, you can get into your your account and you can end it that way. If you click on the Poshmark link, I don't know if you're seeing this, it's going to show you the Poshmark listing website. Of course, I'm on a responsive view, so it looks like a normal website, but it will take you over to either the website where you can see your listing and then you can edit it and end it, or it's going to direct you to the mobile app. Either one will work.
Okay. Awesome. All right, so we're switched back over.
Just so I get the chance to see everybody, because when I do screen share, I don't see any of you. I don't see the comments. So I just wanted to pop in and do a quick hi. And if I need to, I'll be happy to share my screen again.
So let's see yeah, that was quite a sweater, I will say. Almost Christmas in July.
Absolutely.
So here's something that you and Clara went over last week, some things not to do in List Perfectly. So here's a big one. So a lot of people will get, working on their desktop and they're working on their mobile device. So, and you have to be really careful doing that. So can you talk about that for a bit and tell us why you shouldn't work on listings in mobile and in desktop at the same time?
Okay, so yeah, that is specifically when you want to work on the same exact listing, right? Okay. So you're editing your listing on your computer at the same time as you're editing on your mobile or really any other device, because we allow you to edit from anywhere. What can happen though is if you're trying to edit from two separate devices, you can overwrite your work from one device to the other. So you want to be you can do it, but you want to be really careful. And best practice is simply to use one device at a time and then close out that edit window. But if you're like a power user and you can really figure out a system where it's going to work for you, you could just edit on one, save, refresh the screen in your other device, continue working, save, then go back to the other device and refresh the screen. You want to make sure you refresh that screen, and and always save in between, save and refresh, and just make sure you get the order right, because if you're working on your mobile and then you pop over to desktop and you save there, well, you're going to overwrite your work from the mobile. So just be careful.
Yeah, because basically you're updating a singular listing, or you're trying to do it from different devices. So here's a question. Susan says she hasn't been able to get mobile to work. So
Okay.
I guess, Susan, the question would be, what device do you have? And then, just a real quick high level, and then I will also put the link in for you to contact List Perfectly for help, because what you can do is you can send us a video, or we can, take a look at your account. Could be you have an older iPhone. Maybe you need to update your iPhone. I mean, that's probably where I'd start, right? Right, Amanda?
Yeah, I would say, definitely reach out to our tech support for help. We'll be able to help you with that. It could be, we'll ask you what type of phone it is, because it could be an older phone, like Doug mentioned. And, we know that technology changes, things change over time. And I'll give you an example. Google Chrome stopped supporting their Chromebooks after a certain amount of time. Even they say, hey, that device is too old. It's not going to support the more modern coding language and browsers that we're using now. So it's just, we need more details, and our tech support team will be able to assist you and find out what might be going on.
And yeah, and then again, that's always a good thing to mention. We've got 24/7 support, many different options. We've got the Facebook group, we've got the Friday lives, we've got the weekly office hours, and all of these resources are available for free.
Yeah, and I want to mention that, if you've been with List Perfectly for a while, you know that we used to have you go to your email to check for responses, and if you wanted to add a response back to List Perfectly, you would send an email. You don't need to do that anymore. You go to our tech support. It's almost as good as live chat, honestly, except better, because we're not going to time you out of live chat when you go and do something else. We're actually going to display a notification to you when tech support has responded, so you can get the answers that you need as fast as you possibly can, and then go right back to the site and add any replies that you need to. So we're really excited about that update, because it's really important and critical for us to make sure that we're communicating well with you.
Okay, so yeah, so Susan, just reach out. We put the link there. I'll show it again. What else, Amanda? What else do you want to go over?
All right, so there is something in our guide that I want to share. I'm going to share my screen again.
Okay. When that pops up, I'll also put the guide. I will put the guide link in the chat. Here we go. Ready?
Let me know when you see it.
Here we go. You're good to go.
Okay, so right next, I'm back on the desktop view, and I'm looking at the main menu. And right next to the QuickStart guide is the guide to LP. And this is going to give you a shortcut. What do you do on your mobile when you want to create a little shortcut button to get you right to the LP site? Well, we have a guide for that. We have a mobile guide right here. So if you click on the mobile guide, we're going to share everything that we know about how List Perfectly Mobile works. And if you scroll down to the bottom, adding LP shortcut to home screen. This is really handy. This is like, if you're on an app, you would click that little icon to open the app. This is going to do the same thing once you get it set up. And we have instructions for Safari on how to do this. If you're on an Android, reach out to us, because we are building our instructions for Android. Might be a little different. It could be the same, because all you're doing is sharing. You're creating a share and a shortcut. So the instructions will be very similar, but if you have any trouble, reach out to our team. But that's pretty much it. Just follow the instructions, and then look at that. You're going to have a shortcut right on your phone or your tablet or your iPad, whatever you're using, to get right to the site. And this is really handy. This at that point, what more do you need?
Exactly. Exactly. And it's like you said too, is Android devices vary, but if you've got Chrome on your Android device, you should see that option to add to home screen when you share.
Hmm.
And then again, I think I said it at the beginning of the live. I'm still learning iPhone. I did make the switch. I'm actually happy at this point I made the switch. There were some bumps along the road, but then there in Safari, you can go to a site and you also find the option to share to your home screen. So again, List Perfectly is a desktop application that is mobile friendly, and then that just gives you so many options.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's actually the most common question that we get in LP. Can I use List Perfectly from my phone? Can I list from my phone? And that's why we really wanted to come here and share this information with everyone, because yes, you absolutely can.
And just so people understand again, a mobile friendly website or a mobile friendly desktop application or application is not an app that you're going to find in the App Store. That's why if you go there and you search for List Perfectly in the Google Store or the Apple Store, you're not going to find it because it's not an app. It's a mobile responsive desktop application.
Yep, you got it.
But Kim loves, and I'm sure others, I know a lot of sellers that list from bed.
Yeah. Yeah, or I hear all the time people are listing at the thrift store
Sure.
from List Perfectly Mobile. I mean, I'm amazed at all the places that people are listing with the List Perfectly mobile view, and it's just so convenient because somebody shared a tip with me that they have a really big catalog in their List Perfectly catalog, and when they're shopping, when they're out thrifting, they pull up their catalog to find comps and look
Oh,
and do pricing right from their List Perfectly catalog. And I thought that was really cool.
that's a great tip. And in the most recent episode of the Seller Community Podcast, Kat, the nurse flipper, told us that she takes pictures and she saves them on her phone. So when she's out doing stuff, she starts her drafts. So that's kind of her process. Okay, so
Yes.
Clara, thank you for being here today. What about older devices like 7 or 10-year-old phones?
Okay, so it's really going to depend on your device and if it's able to get updates. If it's able to continue getting updates, like you're able to get the latest browser, you know that you're able to get updates from Apple, and not the critical ones that prevent you from your security from being compromised. I'm talking about the updates that allow all of your apps and your browser and everything to continue to be updated. Then you can keep using your phone. But the general rule of thumb with phones is, I mean, these are pretty tiny devices, right? They're only capable of doing so much. And so after a few years, it is a good idea to change them. And I like I like to push my devices as long as I can. But really, I think they start to get kind of, on the borderline after about 3 or 4 years.
And I do have an iPad here. It is an old iPad. I'm not going to say it's retro, vintage, or antique, but it's basically an e-reader right now, and that's pretty much what I use it for.
Yep, yep.
So Kim says, yeah, she's seen people taking pictures in the thrift store and starting
Mhm.
listings there.
Very
Maggie
common.
building listings this morning at the trampoline park, trying to tire out the toddler. It didn't work. I think the listings worked, but the tiring out the toddler did not work.
Well, at least you were able to get some things done. I love that.
Here's another question. Let's see. We kind of covered this early on, but yeah, you can list from mobile devices.
Yeah, absolutely. Sandy, if you have any questions, go right over to that quick start guide. Or if you can, rewind this video. We showed you how you can list right from your mobile device. You pull up the browser. I think I want to be clear. Let me clarify that a little bit. You're going to use your browser on your phone. So if you like Safari, if you like Chrome, it depends on your device. And if you were going around the internet from your phone, what would you use? It would be your phone's built-in browser. So you just go right there and you go to the List Perfectly site, click that login button, and log in, and you're on the List Perfectly site.
And then Sandy follows up. But not cross post. Can you explain this
Yes,
again?
correct. So it really you will always, until the technology changes for phones, you will still need that extension that loads on your computer to do the cross posting. That's really important to know. But you can do all of your listing. You can take your photos. You can draft listings. You can mark them as sold, as long as you're connected and logged into those marketplaces on your phone in your browser. You can go to the marketplaces and edit them, whatever you need to do right from your phone, and no app required.
And that's a phone limitation. That's not a List Perfectly
Right.
limitation.
Exactly. That is 100% correct. That's a phone limitation. And I can't stress this enough. Even if List Perfectly had an app, you would not be able to cross post to Poshmark. You would not be able to cross post to Mercari. It's not there yet, the technology. So it is important to know that for consistency, you just want to do all your cross posting from your desktop device.
And then you can delist. Oops, hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can delist from mobile as well, which
You
is
sure
great.
can.
When let's say I'm out and about. Not a true story. Let's say I'm out and about having lunch at Aztec Taco, my favorite Mexican food place, and I sell a vintage Duran Duran magazine, and I need to delist it. I can do it from my phone.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's really handy because, if you do have the Poshmark and eBay app installed, they're going to give you a notification. Hey, you made a sale. You get
Yeah.
that little cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yep.
And so there you are, you're at your taco place and you want to get that listing ended. Well, you just pull up List Perfectly on your mobile browser, click those links in your catalog. That will take you to the marketplace or the app, depends on how your phone is set up. And from there, you can end your listing.
And then I see another question, and then I want to ask you a catalog on mobile question.
Okay.
So Sandy, let me see. So Sandy, I want to tell you that again, my 14-year-old son has done and does my listings via the mobile. So it's easy to list and to create your draft in mobile. So he takes the picture, he does basic pricing for me. Sometimes I have to check that. We had a Lego Star Wars issue several months ago. But he starts the listing, so it's really easy to learn. I mean, you're likely taking photos with your phone right now, and it's just easy to do that. You can bank them up. We used to try and do 5 at a time. And then Amanda, can we talk about how the catalog works via mobile for a bit?
Sure. I'm sharing my screen again. Can you see it?
Here we are. We're back.
All right, we're back. So just to go back to what we were just talking about, how do you delist from your phone? Here's your platform IDs right here, and you would just click them right from your phone for whatever listing you want to delist. So you can sort and filter. If anything that you want to do, if you want to see everything that's on eBay right now and click search, you can do that. It works the same on the mobile device as it does the desktop. So remind me of your question again about the catalog.
I was just asking overall, the catalog functions in mobile, but that's a great point. I get that Mercari notification that my listing is ended. But so what I want to do though is I want to make sure that I keep my catalog in sync with the marketplace, because that's how I do my inventory stuff. That's how I track things. And that's how List Perfectly works best, I think, is if you keep your catalog in sync with your listings.
Oh yeah, that's you know, we love to say that's a uh, don't do this with list perfectly. This is a perfect don't do. Don't allow your catalog to get out of sync, because these links are all based on the IDs that the marketplaces create. And let me give you an example of what will create a delinking of your link here.
Okay.
Let's say you sold, let's say you you did a sell similar directly on eBay, not through List Perfectly. You went to the eBay site and you did a sell similar, and then you ended the original listing without using List Perfectly. We're not going to get that updated item ID. And that way, what happens is later on, when you're out and about, you're on your mobile and you click this eBay link, it's going to go to, sorry, we can't find your listing. And at that point, you'll have to go and search around on eBay. Where is it? So it's just really important to keep your catalog links healthy. You know, anything, for example, let's say you had a return. Somebody bought something on eBay, you marked it as sold, and then it came back as a return, and you went directly to eBay once again and enabled the listing without doing anything on List Perfectly. That link is also broken. So it's really, really important to keep if you're using the List Perfectly catalog, to keep it in sync.
I'm putting a link.
Yeah, and it's no big deal. Like, let's say, you know, you're on your mobile and you realize, oh, the link isn't working. You can also update your links in mobile. So I wanted to share this. I'm on a responsive view, just to let everybody know. This is not my actual phone, but this is what it would look like for you. And what I do, I like to turn my phone to the side. So this is mimicking that behavior. If you just turn your phone to the side, you're going to see a little more. Your pictures are going to get bigger, but I can scroll all the way down to my inventory and sales, and I can update my IDs right from here as well. So if I was on my phone browser and I was able to grab the ID of the listing and I wanted to update it, I could do that. So again, this is all functionality that you can do from your mobile device.
Since we have you here, Amanda, here's a feature request from Maggie.
Okay.
Her next feature request will be to retract embarrassing emails she has sent to tech support.
Oh. We love to say there are no bad questions, and there is nothing embarrassing, honestly. I mean, ask away. We're here to answer your questions, and there is never a dumb question. I mean, that is what we're here for. And everybody does something for the first time, right? We all have that experience. We all understand that some things are, you know, they just take a question to really get it, and that's okay.
There we go.
So yeah, no big deal. And I mean, we're here to help. We're here. If you have any questions about how to keep your catalog synced, how to use mobile, how do I navigate to the List Perfectly site on my mobile? We'll make you a little video. We could do a video call with you. Whatever is going to work for you. You want screenshots? We'll send you screenshots. Whatever is going to make it easier for you. But I can't emphasize enough, we're here for you.
One quick thing. Let me check something. So Risky, you're going to want to contact support about that question. That's a very account specific question. So, yeah. So please go to.
And actually, support did get back to you.
Yeah, did get back to him.
Yeah.
So that will be in your. So log into your account and you'll see the history all there of the responses. So we checked on that last week and they did get back to you.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. Looking through. Clara had asked, and we might not be able to show this, but can Amanda show how to set up an icon on my phone that takes me to LP mobile?
Yeah, so I'll share the guide on that again. And I apologize, I can't do it because I can't share my phone on this live cast. So I'm kind of restricted to using whatever tools I have at my disposal, which right now is the responsive view, and it doesn't give me the tools that a phone would have. But if we go over to the guide, let's start from scratch. I'm going to go to help and news, and you're seeing my screen, right?
Yes.
Perfect. So I'm going to go help and news, guide to list perfectly. And I'm going to scroll down to where I see mobile guide. Click that. And right here, this is a great resource for everything that you can do on the mobile. Click on adding LP shortcut to home screen, and it'll give you instructions for your phone. And like I said, this is from an iPhone. So this will work from an iPhone. And essentially, it's just you're sharing, you're clicking a share icon, and then you're adding it to your home screen with the instructions that are shown. And it's going to look like this. That's how it'll look. So when you click on that icon, it'll take you directly to the List Perfectly listing site. And we recommend just once you're logged in, create that shortcut, because it'll get you right there. It'll get you right to the login screen. You won't have to click, listperfectly.com, log in, and then log in from there. You'll just log right into the listing site.
Okay. Here's another question from Sandy. I'm not sure I understand the question now. Are you able to show how the broken list feature works? I'm not sure I know what that means.
I'm thinking, let's go over to my listings. I'm thinking it might be when maybe you have no item ID stored. Is that what they mean? If I click customize here, and I'm doing this on the phone, by the way, you can also do this on the phone. I'm going to click.
I think it's good to see. So
you can click show empty IDs, and you can even filter them. So if I just scroll down here, let's just go ahead and filter them. I'm going to filter for empty IDs.
Okay.
And if you notice, we automatically add a not sold, because that's the one that you really care about. We're worried about what happens if my listing sells. Well, if it's already sold, you don't need to worry about if you have an empty ID. But I'm going to go ahead and click search, and it's going to filter. I have none. So if I had any that were an actual blank listing ID, then it would have returned some results for me. And if it might have like a little icon with an exclamation mark, I can show you. No, I don't have a catalog available right now with an empty ID. But what I could do is, let's just edit this listing, and let me actually go to the desktop view, because I think it'll be easier.
This goes back to keeping your catalog updated, and that helps you track things, gives you inventory management options, gives you analytic options, analytics options, and you've got a lot of stuff that you can put, a lot of information you can put in there that's valuable data if you're interested in tracking your sales, tracking your cost of goods, tracking what sells, where it's selling, and then, taking insights from that. And another thing that a lot of people don't think about with using the catalog is you get a backup of everything that's always there. And it's not just like on your computer. For instance, we've all had drafts go away on eBay. We've all had photos go away on eBay. If you've got them in your catalog over on List Perfectly, it's all right there just to easily relist.
Absolutely. That's a great point. But I don't know if you saw what I did. I edited this listing just to add some statuses on marketplaces, and I left intentionally the item ID fields blank. And here you go. This is what it's going to look like. You're going to get a dead link and a little circle with an exclamation mark. And that means there is no ID. You've selected the status. You're saying it's on Tradesy, but there's no item ID to link to. So there's no way for us to take you over to the Tradesy site and show you that listing.
And it's nice to get that little warning indication there.
Absolutely. So I hope that answered the question. Was that it? I think that we were trying to interpret the question, but I want to make sure that we did answer the question.
I think so. Yeah, she did say. Can we show some sales analytics?
I
Or
would. I
where
don't
you
know
would
that
see
I.
that?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and share.
But what I like to real quick with mobile, because I'm looking at it right now, is you get your updates if we have a technical issue to update you about, or if we have a new feature to update you about. And then again, right there, you get the quick start guide, the guide to LP, access your listings, add listings, update, account info, and then, community links, contact links. That's all available via mobile as well.
Yep, absolutely. So I'm actually setting up my analytics right now so I can show you in the meantime. But yes, you can absolutely get analytics. And I'm just changing around some things so I make this visible for everyone.
And you're welcome, Lisa and Sandy. Yeah, and Lisa, it's like we were saying early on, is like List Perfectly is a mobile responsive desktop application. So, and there's reasons we do it that way, but yeah, you get a lot of the functions in mobile that you would have on the desktop. And then again, a lot of users start drafts in their mobile and then go to the desktop to finish those drafts.
All right. So can you see my screen again?
Yes.
All right. On your mobile, you can get to sales analytics by clicking that little hamburger icon that we talked about earlier. Go over to listings, and if you're on the business and pro plan, just keep that in mind. It's still a business and pro plan feature. You would go right over to sales analytics. It's this option here, and that should pull up your sales analytics. So I sold what I just set it up now, but I sold one item in March, and there it is. There's my sales, cost of goods. Here's my sales by platform, and this is really good to know. If I enable inline edit here, I'm going to adjust this because I want to specify where I sold it. And you could do this from the mobile. Let's say I sold it on Etsy. I'm just going to deselect these and click update. And now if I refresh my sales analytics, the chart is going to update and just show that I made the sale on Etsy. Again, something that you can do from mobile.
And that's great. And you can download that CSV for all of your accounting and tracking purposes. This reminds me of one interesting thing that I like to call a List Perfectly hack. Franklin Hill Ventures keeps track of his receipts in List Perfectly, so he has it all in one spot. And then
that I love that tip. That is such a great tip because listings are unlimited in List Perfectly. So you can create a listing that's not actually a listing. If you just want to track something, that is totally fine.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah. And yeah, no extra charges. Kim brings up an interesting point real quick. So I think if we could touch base back on why not to list in mobile and desktop at the same time.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk about that. We allow you to, this is the add or edit listing screen that I have here. And once again, I just have I'm pretending I'm turning the device to the side because that's just how I like to list. You can see everything a little better, but you can, if you're a mobile user and you like showing everything up and down, you can do that. But I'm just going to twist it to the side here. And you see that you can edit your listing. Well, if you're also on your computer, you can edit the same listing. You can even edit in the same browser window. You can have two add or edit listings. The problem is, this is why you don't want to do that. The problem is you can, as soon as you hit save, you can overwrite the work that you were doing in the other device or the other tab. So best practice is just to work with one edit listing tab at a time. And then when you're done, just, get out of it. You can click on that hamburger menu and go over to your My Listings, or you can just save and new. And this is something that you can do from mobile. Let's say you're creating a listing and you're using your 2 devices.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you're finished. Let's say I'm wrapping up this listing. I can click save and new. And what we're going to do with that quick button is just open up a brand new listing page, and you're ready to list your next one. You don't have to go out and go, get to a menu and do multiple clicks. It's one click to save and new. So we give you a lot of shortcuts so you really don't need to have 2 edit windows open. But let's say, for example, this is something that I used to do in my listing flow. I would take photos with my phone, upload them to a listing, and then save and new. And so all I've got is my photos. Maybe I'll do a quick title just saying what it is, like
Mm-hmm.
beer t-shirt or whatever I'm working on, just to be able to find it later. Then on my desktop, once I'm closed out and I save that, has my photos, then on my desktop, I open up the edit window for that listing, that draft. You can call it a draft if you want. It's just something that you're still working on. You can edit it on your other device. Meanwhile, you're taking photos and you're creating your next draft.
Okay. Thank you for going back over that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Amanda, we covered a lot today. Is there anything we didn't get to that you wanted to emphasize?
Just remember that List Perfectly works in your normal mobile browser, just like the regular site does. You can do
Sure.
everything that you can do. Let's say, imagine that your extension wasn't installed on your desktop device. You do the same exact thing that you could do on your desktop in your phone, except cross posting. That's the only thing.
Okay. Okay. And so we talked about why List Perfectly is not an app. We
Mm-hmm.
talked about how to save List Perfectly to your mobile devices, what mobile devices work. We talked about what mobile responsive is.
Mm-hmm.
We showed how to end listings. We showed how to start listings. And we showed why you shouldn't try to list to a singular listing in different edit windows or environments.
Yeah.
We talked about the catalog. We talked about a lot of the features. We talked about analytics. We covered a ton.
Yeah, we sure did. We sure did. And yeah, it's you'll find the listing flow that works for you. I shared what my listing flow was, and I'd
Yeah.
love to, later on, share some tips. If you have a listing flow that really works for you with List Perfectly Mobile, we love to hear about it. Share it in the comments.
And then Susan's learning List Perfectly sounds like. Susan, we've got a ton of we've got that QuickStart guide that's on the site. We've got our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/listperfectlyyt. We've got the Facebook group. If you're not in there, that's a great spot to ask questions about List Perfectly, about the marketplaces. That's facebook.com/groups/List Perfectly. And then, of course, we have the podcast, the sellercommunitypodcast.com. There's a ton of episodes, a year and a half of episodes on there with all kinds of different topics. Could answer some of your questions. We can take one more quick question from Lisa. When you have an item sold, is it only to show sold on that platform you sold it on?
Let me make sure I understand the question. So is the question about when you're on your mobile and you're marking sold and you want to indicate that it's sold? Is that what it is? I think it is, but you can actually, on List Perfectly Mobile, you can click that sold button as well. As when you're marking sold, you can go in, edit it, and click sold.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Amanda, for taking the time to talk to us about List Perfectly Mobile and how that works. Thanks everybody for coming in. Very excited to see some new faces. Clara was here in the comments as well, so thank you, Clara. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, members of the List Perfectly team. And then it was fun to do this with you. Amanda and I did a meetup earlier this week too, so we've been live together quite a bit this week. But Clara will be back next week. Let's wish her well. She's got a tooth issue she's working on, and but she will be back bigger than ever next week. And then Amanda and Clara will take your questions here on YouTube. And again, this video is will be archived on our YouTube channel in a bit, so you can review it if you need to do so.
Well, thank you, everyone. And, like I said, if you have any questions, just reach out. Our tech support is here to help you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.